Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Voyager class Decepticon Sweep from the Transformers Studio Series 86 line from Hasbro. These are all featured in the 1986 animated classic Transformers the movie, which is why they all have the 86 numbering. But then they have kind of a sub numbering here, so you can see he is number 10 in the 86 line. Got a nice picture of the Sweep there on the side. And really this is just a repaint of Scourge that we saw earlier on in the line. There's really nothing different going on here. It's a lighter shade of blue. I believe he even comes with the exact same backdrop piece that Scourge came with, which we'll check out in a moment. But this is really just, Scourge had a few Sweep minions, so if you wanted to kind of army build a few just to kind of fill out his ranks, and they decided to go with a slightly different shade of blue just so you could tell them apart. That's really what we're working with here. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead, get him out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. So here is Decepticon Sweep with the little backdrop that's included. It is the exact same one that comes with Scourge, so no extra effort exerted there. I think it would have been neat if they would have put the, either Thundercracker or Skywarp, whichever one is turning into Scourge here in the middle, and then removed one of these two, because that way it would make it look like this guy is, one of the two side guys turning into one of the henchmen. But I understand that would have been a lot of effort to redraw the whole backdrop, but I think that would have been neat. In any case, it is a pretty cool looking backdrop that is included. So here is Decepticon Sweep out of the packaging, and it's pretty much exactly what you'd expect. It's just Scourge in a lighter shade of blue. I don't know why, though, but this one feels a little bit cheaper than Scourge did, mostly in the legs. Just something about the legs, they feel a little bit more hollow, and for whatever reason, the ankle tilt down here won't actually stay. When you try to ankle tilt, it automatically snaps back up like it's spring-loaded. That's really annoying. I'm not sure why that... Okay, now it's cooperating. Maybe I just have to kind of work the joint a little bit, but it does not seem to want to bend back the way it's supposed to. So, I don't know. But like I said, the legs just kind of feel hollower. I don't know why when I was transforming it, snapping a few things together just felt hollower, and maybe the plastic felt a little cheaper. I don't know if they're starting to change how they make the plastic or if they're trying to cut costs. I really don't know. This is all just conjecture, but this one does feel a little bit cheaper. I don't know why. But it is really just the same figure. I mean, really the only major difference, and I'll bring Scourge in here so you can see, they have swapped the hands. So whereas he had a closed fist here and an open hand here, they have swapped those. So if you're feeling very ambitious and you want a Scourge with two open hands, you could take apart the forearms, switch the hands, and then put everything back together, and you could have, two closed fists, two open hands, however you prefer. But they did swap them, so that is a possibility. Otherwise, as you can see, it really is just the same toy in a lighter shade of blue. But like I said, I like it. I think it works. I think it makes sense to have Scourge have some kind of distinction since he's the leader of the sweeps, and have all the minions be, like a slightly different shade of blue. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same thing. There's really no difference here. Even comes with the same accessory and the same effect piece. You can just peg that in. So, nothing really new there. Yeah, it is just a repaint. But it's a good repaint, and like I said, I think it makes sense. You can't really do much else with the Scourge mold, and of course they're going to want to reuse their molds because they always do. And at least with this one, I feel like it makes total sense. He did have Sweep minions, so it makes sense to offer that. And at least they did give him some kind of distinction. Hopefully this just came out before you already bought 2 or 3 Scourges. But yeah, I don't know. It feels a little bit cheaper. Some of the joints are a little bit looser. We'll roll through the articulation. So the head is on the ball joint. This piece can swivel up here. It's part of the transformation. If you prefer, having that look, I can't remember which is correct. I feel like this looks more accurate from the cartoon, but I could be wrong. But if you like that side facing front, or if you like this side facing front, whichever you prefer. But the head's on a ball joint, so you can do a little side to side tilt, certainly look side to side. You can look down, look up very slightly. Mostly you get side to side movement out of that. You have a hinge and a rotation in the shoulder. You have a bicep swivel. You have 90 degrees in the elbow. But this one, like I said, it's a little loose. Not a big deal, but a little loose. You get a wrist swivel there. You have a waist swivel. You have hips that can kick about that far front because of the way the thighs are molded. Kick out to the side pretty well. Kick back pretty well. He has a thigh swivel, But unfortunately, there's just a lot of clearance issues with how bulky everything is. So your thigh swivel isn't doing much, but it is present. You have about 90 degrees in the knee there. And then, like I said, you have that ankle tilt, but it keeps wanting to snap back, which is really unfortunate. Maybe if I just kind of really, you know, make it move over. I don't know. It just keeps snapping back. It's not that great. So he just feels a little bit cheaper, but, you know, if he's just a minion for cannon fodder, so be it. But we'll go ahead. We'll run through the transformation real quick. It's exactly the same as Scourge, but I'll just show it off real fast. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do for the transformation, straighten out the legs, and then we just push them together. There's a little tab on the inside of the leg, which will tab into the other one, and they peg together. Now, they're probably going to pop apart during the transformation. You just pop them back together. You're going to fold the heels in, and then you're going to fold the toes down, and there's that. You're going to come up here to the shoulders, and they will actually kind of unclip, and then this will come down. You'll see that there's a nice kind of like cleared area for this like bump on the like waist here. So this is going to come down and kind of sit in that recessed area. And then this tab here is going to peg into this spot here on the forearm. So that's just going to come down, make sure that's all lined up, and then that pegs in. Do the same thing over here. So that will come down, straighten out the arm, make sure that lines up, and peg that all in. So that's going to be completely hidden by the wings. He is just one big shell former, but what are you going to do? Go ahead and swivel this around if you don't have it already facing forward. Then you're going to come to the wings. These sections here are going to accordion down. And then this little part here will flip out. Do the same thing over here. Flip that out. Then you have to open these up. They were previously kind of pegged into the backpack here. So that will give you clearance to open this section, which will flip all the way out. This piece here is going to come around and go right up against his collar, like that. This is going to kind of flip out. This whole section here is going to flip out. And then there are two peg holes right there, which are going to peg into these two pegs right here. First, this little peg right here is going to peg into that, so make sure that you bring this down so that pegs in first. And then this will come down and peg in on these. This section is going to flip around and snap into place there, and then this will flip up and cover the face, like so. And then you're going to bring these in on these same hinges we utilized earlier. And this is going to just kind of drop into place here. Make sure everything clears. Like so. Make sure that this little tab is there so you can peg that together. Come around underneath. All this will just kind of clip into place. These panels on the side here. And then you just close these up underneath. And then flip these up. And then you want to make sure everything back here clips into place as well. There we go. So like I said, if you're familiar with Scourge, it is the exact same transformation, but it works. You're left with a pretty cool little alt mode here. Really nice Decepticon symbol there on the front. Not too much robot kibble underneath. Of course, you can see the legs, but that's not a big deal. They have these wings here to kind of close up and hide the robot chest and everything. So I think it works. You can bring that effect piece back in, and you can peg that in over here if you want. Attach that wherever. You can also attach the gun to one of these peg holes on the side. So you have a few options there. But yeah, it's a pretty decent little vehicle mode. It works. So Decepticon Sweep is perfectly fine. I mean, it's exactly what you'd expect. It's just Scourge in a lighter shade of blue. It makes sense to give Scourge some minions, and they do like to reuse these molds. So, I mean, it makes sense. Do you need it? That's going to be up to you. It really just depends if you want to build the ranks of Scourge henchmen. The one notable difference, they did mirror the hands. So while Scourge has the open left hand, Decepticon Sweep has the open right hand. If for some reason you wanted to kind of take the forearms apart and switch those out so you could have one or the other with both closed fists or both open hands, I guess that's an option, so maybe that's a little bit of an incentive to pick this guy up. But like I said, it's just kind of a casual repaint. I really don't feel like a lot of effort was put into this one, but a lot of effort wasn't really needed, to be fair. So again, your mileage is going to vary. If you want to get his henchman, go ahead and pick up one or two of these. If you're happy with just Scourge, you're not really missing anything here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.